Pamela Torres is on her way to Rollins this morning. Welcome back. It's Tuesday, May 21st. And when you go outside like you're going to work today, you're not going to believe that summer is exactly 1 month away. Now, Carrie, I'm standing outside the station and the sun is starting to come out. I do have this temperature radar gun. I'm going to put it inside the car. It is 95 degrees. I don't know if you can see that clearly. If you lose Saturday's drawing, don't throw this ticket away because you're still eligible to win. Thick. The snow is so thick. Some kids will be able to play on the same field as Josh Allen. This partnership makes Blue the first ever titanium sponsor for CFD. And if you're looking for a way to honor those who made the ultimate sacrifice today, the person to publicly declare intent to run for the Senate seat being left open by retiring Senator Mike Enzi is a Democrat. Well, whether you're a Cheyenne native or just visit the capital city every now and then, by next month, the Cheyenne Depot will be offering free Wi-Fi. University of Wyoming trustees plan to ask the state for nearly $50 million to renovate the swimming pool and part of the football stadium. Although today's weather will make you want to stay inside, spring is right around the corner. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, Cheyenne's population has grown by 370 new residents. How to see Jake Maurer tonight, and the best part, it's free. The Regional Medical Center has more than $900,000 to focus on substance abuse and suicide prevention. In Wyoming, Army National Guard soldiers will deploy this week for the cause of a fire that injured 2 firefighters is under investigation this morning. The House Dispatch, how may I help you? It's those 6 words that could save a life. And Laramie County dispatchers say it over and over, day after day, being the conductor of the force for every unit within it. They dispatch police and firefighters to emergencies and are the voice for every emergency.
I like to use my tone of voice and my speech to try to calm people down.
A number of organizations, including the community, rely on dispatchers to coordinate help in the right amount of time.
That can be like 90 seconds to a couple of minutes.
Although the job isn't as physical as other first responders, it is mentally demanding. A dispatcher in Cheyenne can take 250 to 350 calls a day, keeping them on their toes.
This job is very interesting. It doesn't get monotonous because you're dealing with something different every day.
With Cheyenne growing and the communication center understaffed, dispatchers have to make split-second decisions about emergencies.
Already gotten a call process to a certain point to where we have help on the way. We can put them on hold and answer another line.
While the days are long, it is very rewarding knowing you saved someone's life.
If not for my firefighter, I wouldn't have known the CPR call that I had. The guy came back and was sitting up and talking in the hospital.
Aside from accidents, heat stroke is the leading cause of vehicle-related deaths for kids. But there are ways to remind you of your kid in the car. According to Safe Kids Worldwide, every year child deaths have increased since 1998. But there are things like apps, gadgets, and car seats that alert you of movement in the back seat.
It's not that we forget them, it's that we're thinking about work. You're not the normal person that would drop them off. There's so many factors that are involved, but most of the time it's a distraction.
Ingerly says it's important to keep our cars locked. 26% of children deaths in hot cars is from kids climbing in the car.
We don't lock our cars up. What can happen is they can gain access. Once they're in and the door slams shut or it pulls shut or whatever the case may be, sometimes they can't quite figure out how to get out of the car.
In 15 minutes, your car could heat up almost 20 degrees, so quick trips into the gas station is a bad idea.
Kiddos can start discovering that they're heating up, their body temperature not calming down, so we just need to be very careful with leaving them, even for that little moment to pay for gas or to grab something.
Ingerly says leaving your kid in the car happens, but doesn't change the love you have for your kid.
It all has to do with the fact that we are so distracted in today's society that it is so easily that our mind can have 50 different thoughts in a matter of moments. That is what creates our problem. It has nothing to do with the love that we have for our children.
Last month, the Senate Committee on Commerce, Science, and Transportation introduced legislation that would require new passenger vehicles to be equipped with a visual and auditory alert system to remind caregivers to check the rear seat. This concrete planter may look like an eyesore, but for the Secretary of Interior standards, this is a defining feature on a mid-century modern building. And the planter is giving one Cheyenne businessman an unpleasant experience with the Downtown Development Authority.
I want my staff, I want my clients, everybody else to be able to, be able to see in and out of that.
Anthony Ortiz applied for a facade improvement grant through the DDA back in March to remove the brick veneer on the front of the building, an 1819 Warren. On April 2nd, Ortiz learned his application was declined with the explanation his project didn't fit within guidelines and he'd be taking away from the historical significance of the building.
I started doing a lot of research on my own. They said, it's of historic value. We don't want to mess anything up with that. And so I went to the library, checked the internet, looked at everything I could to see what historical value that building had. There's none anywhere.
On April 12th, a City Historic Preservation Board officer contacted Ortiz to discuss the outcome of his application. When Ortiz explained he only wanted to remove 22% of the brick in front of the building, his application was resubmitted and he was accepted into the FIP program.
I'm just trying to take out that brick facade and put in some glass windows.
On May 8th, Ortiz submitted his final presentation for the FIP grant where he needed an architect's report, which he paid $3,500 for. And although the DDA did offer free design service, Ortiz said there wasn't an architect available through the DDA in time for his application. 2 days later, he received an email denying his application. The email stated it is critical the Secretary of Interior standards are followed for the program.
Our program works with the Secretary of Interior standards for historic preservation. That was not an applicable project to qualify for grant funds. One of the most defining features of that mid-century modern building, which is one of the best examples in downtown, is the brick planter wall that's in front of the whole front of the building.
The DDA says Ortiz can do whatever he wants to the building, and Ortiz plans to. He just wanted to use the grant the DDA has available for businesses in the downtown to develop downtown Cheyenne.
That's what Downtown Development Authority means to me. It's not Downtown Historic Authority, it's Downtown Development Authority. That's all I'm trying to do is develop down here.
Vicki Duggar stated Ortiz's grant wasn't the only one denied, and about 4 buildings in town did get approved for the grant. In Cheyenne, for Wyoming News Now, I'm Kayla Dixon. Budweiser is known as the king of beers, but when natural disasters strike, they can something else: water.
We are passionate about the quality of the products we produce, whether that's our beer or whether that's emergency drinking water.
Anheuser-Busch has partnered with the American Red Cross since 1988, helping those in need by sending drinkable water. The canning started with the plant in Georgia, and now operations have begun in Fort Collins, Colorado, for faster relief times.
We made this commitment earlier this year that we wanted to double our capacity to can emergency drinking water. And then, of course, we wanted to pick a location out here in the West so we could respond quicker and more efficiently to disasters in the western United States.
This summer, we saw our mountains become engulfed in flames and homes destroyed by tornadoes. Knowing the plant cans water so close, it's easier for Red Cross of Wyoming to rely on that partnership to get supplies to those in need.
That's one of the great things by now having this available right here in our own backyard, is that anytime there's a disaster that close to home, we have the ability to call up on some of these resources and get immediate help.
And the company says being able to help their neighbors makes it all worthwhile.
It really is a special feeling to know that we're playing our small part when disasters hit and communities are in need of clean drinking water.